Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel if you are new. Hello, my name is V. I post nail tutorials every Thursday and Sunday at 8:15 a.m. Central Time. I am getting right into today's video. I am going to be soaking off my Après gel extensions. These are soft gel tips and I will link down below the video that I actually did on this set. Love them. However, they're looking a little crusty, so I figured I would go ahead and remove them. Here I am just putting together my soak off bowls. If you have not seen these, they are linked in my Amazon storefront. Amazing. Probably the best ones for soak offs. So it comes with a little bowl, and under that bowl you add hot water. And then on the top compartment where you slide your fingers in, that is where you are going to apply some acetone. And then you will be placing your fingers into those little slots and soaking your nails off. So I'm starting off by clipping off the excess gel tip. And the only reason why I'm doing this is because it gives you a shorter length and they will fit nicely into those slots versus with longer nails, your fingers will kind of stick out slightly. So I like to cut them down as short as possible. And I feel like the process goes a little bit quicker this way as well. So now I am taking my Kiara Sky e-file. I have her at about 9 to 10,000 RPMs. With this e-file, I am using their 5-in-1 carbide bit. It is medium grit. This one is their rose gold color. Check them out. They are my favorite. And they have tons of colors to choose from. I finally upgraded from the silver one, so I am using that for today's video. I'm just going ahead and lightly removing the design that I have on my nails. I kind of wanted to insert this as well because I had zero lifting whatsoever with these tips. I've talked about gel extensions before. They stay on your nails so well. I'm pretty sure I smacked my finger a few times, and because the gel tips are so soft, they bend more or less, so they do not crack, they do not break, and they do not lift. So it is kind of mind-boggling how well these tips work. So I'm just gonna go ahead and file off, and you can kind of see through that cuticle area that there is zero lifting. Before I removed them, I did notice just a little bit, but that was all the gel that had kind of seeped on the outside of the tips. So it wasn't the actual extension themselves. It was just a little bit of gel that had maybe gotten on my cuticle area or on my skin. So that's kind of normal. So I'm just going ahead and removing that very gently. When I'm doing it with my non-dominant hand like I am here, I like to rest my hand on something. Now I'm gonna go ahead and place my hands into my lovely soak off bowls, and I'm just gonna chill for a minute. So this process typically is pretty quick. Whenever I'm doing it with acrylic nails, I do suggest you remove bulk product. I like to file it all the way down to a very thin layer, and that way it soaks off a lot quicker. Now I was told that the Gel X nail extensions soak off in 10 minutes. I don't know who the heck told me that big ol' lie, because I was so prepared for this to be such an easy, quick process. And let me tell you guys, I'm pretty sure it took me longer than what it takes me to soak off acrylic nails. I got so frustrated. So I'm chilling in the bowl for a little bit, and then I started realizing I wanted to check to make sure that they were soaking off. So as you can see me wiggling my fingers around, that's just me checking to see if the product is kind of softening up a little bit. And then I kind of took one of my fingers out to kind of see, and I didn't really notice a difference. They did get a little bit bendy, but for the most part, they were not soaking off. So I went ahead and left them in there just for a little bit longer. I do have my setup with a few paper towels right underneath, and then I use my cuticle pusher to scrape off any excess product, and that's typically what I do with my acrylic as well. So what you're gonna wanna do is soak them into the bowl. This is pure acetone in the top compartment of these bowls. And then the water underneath warms it up very nicely, which speeds up the process. If you guys have issues soaking off your acrylics, that does the trick. If you have warm water underneath, it helps tremendously. So I will then take my cuticle pusher and start scraping off the layers of product. And as you can see, it is coming off nicely. This is typically how it looks as well when you are removing acrylics with acetone. So I'm just going to gently push that off. I'm going to repeat that as well on the other hand, and then I will kind of determine whether I want to file them off or place them back into the bowl. But I'm just gonna go ahead and continue to scrape this off. Now I'm going back in to soak these off. I wanted to do a traditional soak off to see how well it worked. So typically when you soak off nails, you want to place them in there, scrape some layers off, place them back in there. You can always just leave them in there for the full amount of time. However, I get impatient, and because I'm doing it on myself, I like to scrape off the layers. I feel like it makes the time go by quicker, and I feel slightly like it speeds it up. So I started noticing that my thumbnail was not budging at all whatsoever, and I kind of looked at it a little bit weird, and I started scraping off the other nails as well. But then I started noticing that it really was not scraping off as I wanted it to, at least in the speed that I wanted it to. So I continued to scrape off the layers. That's what you want to do. You want to safely remove them by gently pushing off that product. Now at this point, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and file off a little bit more just to kind of speed up the process. I do this sometimes as well with acrylics, just if I wanna speed it up a little bit. So I'm taking my e-file once again. I put it at about 10,000 RPMs using the same 5-in-1 bit that I was using earlier. And I'm just gonna start to remove the layer of gel on top. And then I'm kind of trimming them just slightly as well to start getting rid of that length as well. So I'm just doing this very, very carefully. If you guys have issues e-filing, make sure you guys check out my beginner basics playlist on my channel. Everything is super organized, and my beginner basics covers a lot of the things you might be struggling with. So make sure you guys check that out. I have very in-depth videos on that for beginners. But I'm just gonna continue to remove as much product as I can. And then I'm going to be repeating that on the other hand as well. Now I did give up very, very quickly, and so I decided to take my hands out of the bowl. I was getting really, really impatient and try to scrape off a little bit more layers. And at this point, it was not budging at all whatsoever. So I was like, you know what? It's fine. Let me try it on the other hand. And for whatever reason, my right hand was actually soaking off a little bit better than my left hand, but it still wasn't good enough for me. So I am actually going to be taking my e-file and filing the rest of it off. You want to be very, very gentle, very, very careful. You want to make sure that the speed is right and you are not over filing, because you can damage your natural nail. So I'm basically going to be staying on the gel extension with my e-file. I'm placing it at a speed of about 8,000 to 9,000 RPMs. And then I'm going to start removing that product. Basically what I'm doing is removing it all the way down as thin as possible. I'm not necessarily getting to my natural nail, but I do want to remove basically all of that product until I have a very, very thin layer, and I can go over top of that with whatever product of my choosing. So I'm just gonna go ahead and continue to remove the length of the nail. At this point, I am filing it all the way down to my natural nail so that I can easily file the rest of the length off. And then I'm going to continue to remove that gel from my natural nail. Like I said, I'm leaving a very thin layer, so I am being very careful at this point. I'm not trying to go all the way through that product. I just want to get it thin enough to be able to kind of use my natural nail for my manicure. So I'm just going in, and I like to start at the top part and then work my way down. And I'm going to be trimming off that excess length. And I'm gonna repeat that on the rest of the nails. Once I'm content with that, I am taking my Tammy Taylor peel and stick file, and now I'm going to be trimming my nails. I don't like to use a nail clipper if I'm gonna be leaving a little bit of that length. I feel like sometimes it terrifies me that I'm going to overcut it, so I'd rather just hand file it. So I'm taking my hand file and just lightly filing that length off until I have the smallest amount sticking off of my skin. I did want to leave just the slightest amount of length to my natural nail. I feel like that looks cute when you're doing a natural gel manicure. So I'm just going ahead and repeating that on the rest of my nails. I'm doing this very, very carefully, and I like to alternate from the left to the right, to the right to the left, from the center, and continue to do a round shape throughout my entire set. Now, a quick little tip, I have mentioned this before on my channel, but when I'm filing with my non-dominant hand, I typically keep my hand file as still as possible, and I assist by filing, basically using my right hand in the motion that I need to file in. So I will try to keep my hand file still, and then just lightly move my hand or my finger in the direction that I want to file. And I will kind of assist that as well with my left hand, but for the most part, I try to do the filing process by moving my right hand. It's so much easier. You have better control of it, especially if it's your non-dominant hand, just like me. So make sure you guys try this out, and it is a huge game changer in my opinion.
I'm sorry, my actions, they haunt me, and I'll never live it down. I'm no good at being good, but I never said I was. You call my bluff, I won't pick up, I let it ring. Record your voice so I can listen back again. I'm sorry I'm not perfect, but I knew that I wouldn't be. I guess it's for the best, you know the worst in me. I'm no good at being good, but I never said I was. And I feel misunderstood, 'cause I'm trying.
Once I'm done getting the length to my liking, I'm actually taking a lint-free wipe and some swipe and just cleaning off my fingers and my nails. I'm doing this just because I have so much gunk all over the place and I want a clear view of what the heck I'm doing. So for our next step, I am going to be prepping my natural nail for my enhancement or whatever product I'm going to be applying on top. So I am using my Kiara Sky e-file, and I have her at about 4,000 RPMs. That's my comfortable speed for my prep. Along with that, I'm using their mandrel bit and one of their medium grit sanding bands. I'm just very, very lightly going over the entire surface of my nail, specifically focusing on that cuticle area to try to get any dead skin off. And then I'm going throughout the surface to try to remove a little bit more of that product left behind. But I specifically want to focus on the prep on my natural nail so that all the product adheres to it properly. Again, cuticle area and then on the surface of the rest of the nail. Now, if you ask me what crucial drill bits you need as a beginner, these are my hands down go-to ones for prep. They make it so much better. Your products are going to adhere to the nail so well if you implement these into your prep works. So I'm using my needle bit first, and I'm going around that cuticle area, and you can see all of that dead skin that I missed with my mandrel bit. It's crazy how much of a difference that makes. So I'm gonna repeat that on my other hand as well. And I'm just going very, very gently in. My e-file is still at 4,000 RPMs. This is going to minimize any damage that you might create onto the natural nail if you have it at a very low speed and you are monitoring the pressure you are applying to your hand. That is going to make all the difference. So I'm just going very, very gently around the cuticle area. Now, my other favorite prep bit is this cuticle ball bit. It removes the cuticle area so gently. You don't have to do any nipping. All you have to do is gently buff it away, as you can see me doing here in this step. Now, I did move my e-file up to 5,000 RPMs. I feel like it gets it off a lot quicker and a lot better if you have it at 5,000 RPMs. So I'm just going very gently, and I typically just go in one direction, and that does that trick, but you can see all that dryness getting off. And then I feel like I have more cuticle on my right hand because it is the hand that I use the most. And you can see it a lot more effective on this hand since it is a lot thicker on that hand. Now, another really important thing to do is use some swipe or some alcohol on a lint-free wipe and really dehydrate that natural nail. Not only does it remove all that excess dust, but it also dehydrates that nail, which is crucial for your product to adhere to your natural nail. So once I'm done with that, I went ahead and grabbed all my stuff out. I am going to be very quickly showing you the B.b Gel from Profix Backstage. I'm going to be using one of their colors for today's video. So here they are. I have 4 of their B.b Gels. They also have it in clear, and I have that somewhere in the salon. But very quickly, we got such stunning colors. I am obsessed. This one is Cover Up, and it's definitely more opaque, more on the pink side than the first one. Then we have Semi Pink, which is so pretty. I feel like that would be stunning for a pink and white set. And then this one reminds me of Bubblegum, and it's so pretty. It's a very sheer light pink. Now, before I get started with my application, I am going to be adding some Profix to my natural nail. You do not have to do this step. However, whenever I am working with anything on top of my natural nail, I like to make sure that my products are going to adhere. So I am using Profix from Profix Backstage. This is their primer, and I'm just going to be adding 1 light coat of that onto my natural nail so that I get the full adhesion from that product. But I watched their video and it is not necessary. So just a quick little update on that. I'm gonna go ahead and rub it in nicely onto the natural nail and then bring it all the way down to the tip of my finger. And I am going to wait on priming my right hand just for the sake of not getting it stuck everywhere. Now I did decide to go with this such pretty color. This one's called Semi Nude. It is a sheer light pink nude, which I'm obsessed with. You guys know I love my nudes. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply one thin layer onto my natural nail, and then I'm gonna be flash curing it in the light. It is recommended to use this in thin layers versus one thick layer. You wanna make sure that it evenly cures and you don't have a half cured product on your nail. Super, super important. So I start at the cuticle area and I'm honestly just pressing it into it, and it basically covers my entire nail. And then I bring it down to the tip and then do the other side. It's such a pretty color, so subtle, and I'm obsessed with it. So during this process, I want to explain to you guys why I am doing such short nails. You guys are probably like, she's broken, something's wrong with her. So we're actually going to be moving here soon, and we've been packing up my house, getting ready to move out. The house is going to be finished by the end of this month, and we are actually prepping our current home for rental. So just a quick little life update. We are doing tons of remodeling to our current home, and I am having to overly clean, pack everything up, make sure that I'm getting everything done correctly. And unfortunately, when you have longer nails or, you know, any type of extension, it is a little bit hard and more complicated to really get in to cleaning and packing. Really, when you're dealing with boxes, it can be a little tricky. So I wanted to make my life a little bit easier for the following few weeks. So I decided to give myself a very short natural gel manicure. And what better product to use than the B.b Gel from Profil's Backstage? If you guys are not familiar with their stuff, I talk about it all the time. Check them out. I'm not trying to like overly push products on you guys, but seriously, when I talk about Profil's Backstage, I love them. They're so sweet and their products are so good. Like, I just cannot not recommend them. So check out their products, very inexpensive and really good quality. So the B.b Gel, basically what it is it's a thicker base gel. So you can honestly use this as kind of a builder gel. I like to think of it that way, as a builder gel. It's super thick. The consistency is amazing. I love it. It's buildable. You can also use it for underneath gel polish manicures. Like, it doesn't have to be used by itself. You can add color on top. It is a stronger base coat, essentially. It's gonna hold the product onto your natural nail very well while giving you your natural nail structure that you kind of need, and a little bit of thickness, especially for those weak nails out there. So make sure you guys check them out. If you guys are interested, definitely purchase them. They are my go-to, and I love them. I actually let one of my coworkers borrow the clear one because she had a client that wanted her natural nails done, and she had one that was broken, and she was able to form a little tiny extension with the clear B.b Gel, and I was so excited ever since then. So I was really happy to get these. So I am adding the second layer of that onto my nails. Now my Kiara Sky light died on me at this point, so I'm using this green little UV lamp. You can find these, they are linked in my Amazon storefront. So I went ahead and flash cured it while the gel was on there. I didn't want to leave it kind of wet while I was digging through my drawer to get my charger. So I'm gonna go ahead and continue the process. You guys kind of get the gist of it. I am doing 2 coats of that onto my nail, and then we're gonna be moving on to my other hand. Now for the last cure for this hand, I am leaving it in my lamp for 2 full minutes. It is recommended that you cure the BB gel for 2 minutes. So I'm making sure that I'm doing my final cure the right way. I've just been flash curing throughout. And then we're gonna be moving on to our other hand. So this is what it looks like. Now it does have a tacky layer. I am going to lightly remove that with my swipe and a lint-free wipe. I'm just removing that tacky layer. We don't need it. I am going to be working on my other hand, so I do not need any kind of dust or anything to be stuck on this hand while I'm working on the other one. We're moving right on to our other hand. Again, I'm starting off by prepping my natural nail bed with some Profix from Profile's Backstage, one thin layer of that onto all of my nails. Now for this hand, I did want the process to go a lot quicker. So I am applying a thin layer of that onto my thumbnail, and then I'm going to be placing it in the light to flash cure it. And while that one's in the light, I am prepping my brush to start working on my next nail. I feel like if you're ready to go, you're gonna get it done a lot quicker. So I went ahead and applied that thin layer, placing it in the light, and then we're going to be moving on the rest of my nails.
This is for my day ones. Don't forget the ones I made, yeah. Deep side sweating out flavor. This is for my day ones, day one. Showed up, day one before the glow up. Don't need ask for them, show love. Don't need ask for them, show love, show love. Izquierda pa' derecha, dale bien facha. Yo quiero que tú bailes, dale sin parar. Todo mundo, hey, quiero vacilar. Shake it, and I'll throw it right back. Ooh, take it back to when nobody used to know me. Lights down low, I was just chilling with my homies. Now that we're popping, everybody is talking. This is for my day ones. Don't forget the ones I made, yeah. Deep side sweating out flavor. This is for my day ones, day one. This is for my day ones. Don't forget the ones I made, yeah. Deep side sweating out flavor. This is for my day ones, day one. Showed up, day one before the glow up. Don't need ask for them, show love. Don't need ask for them, show love, show love. Ooh, take it back to when nobody used to know me. Lights down low, I was just chilling with my homies. Now that we're popping, everybody is talking. This is for my day ones. Don't forget the ones I made, yeah. Deep side sweating out flavor. This is for my day ones, day one. This is for my day ones. Don't forget the ones I made.
Once everything is nice and dry, I am going to be top coating these nails. I opted for no design. Like I said, I didn't want anything to be ruined from moving and all that stuff. So I'm adding my top coat. This is a stain resistant top coat from Young Nails. I don't think I've talked about it on my channel, but when I say you guys need this, you guys need this. I have tons of clients that are hairstylists, and I started using it on them a while back to see if it worked. And when I tell you I will never use another top coat on them, I will never. This stuff keeps every type of hair color off of the nail, and it does not stain them. So whenever I have clients that have white nails or very light nude nails, I go ahead and top coat their nails with this top coat and they will not get stained. My hair right now is a reddish purple color, and every time I go in to wash it, the hair color bleeds into the shower. And my toes were colored white, and I did not have this thing on my toes. And when I tell you they turn pink, they definitely turned pink. So now I made sure I went ahead and added some on my toes when I redid them, and they have been completely white. I don't know if you guys noticed at the beginning as well with my Gel X nails, they were definitely more pink than the color that I had chose, and it's definitely because of my hair. So again, if you guys have hair color or hairstylists as clients, you guys need this. So I'm placing that in the light, and it also has a tacky layer. So once we get out of the light, I'm gonna be using some swipe and a lint-free wipe and just gently removing that very, very carefully. I feel like it gets a little bit sticky, but it'll be fine. This stuff is worth it. It's super shiny, and I feel like it doesn't get scratched as well, which makes it all that better. So again, I'm doing that on my other hand as well. And then I'm going to be adding my handy dandy most favorite cuticle oil in the world. It smells so, so good, and it melts right into your skin, and it has sparkles in it. It doesn't really show on your skin unless you mix it in the bottle, but mine settled down at the bottom, so I never really get glitter anywhere. But I'm just really putting that around all my cuticle, and then I'm gonna start massaging it in. And as you can see, we don't have any oily cast or any greasy look. But this is basically how my nails turned out. Let me know what you guys think about this type of video, since I've never done natural nails on my channel before. Let me know your thoughts down below. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you guys next time.